Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms. I'm joined here with my partner in crime, Sam Schneider, who it's good to see is feeling better and not feeling better. This is the week one recap of Jungle Talk. And if
Yay!
you notice, we don't have the victory horn, we don't have the quacker, and it's all because we managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Even with the 5 turnovers.
I knew you were gonna say. I knew you were gonna say use that phrase. Like I thought about it like an hour before we did this.
Well,
I
it's
was like,
fitting.
Mark's gonna say defeat from the jaws of victory.
There it was. 2 seconds left. Everything that we did wrong. And now we're going to go through it all. But everything that we did wrong in the first half, make the extra point, game over.
Right.
Bad snap. And so, you used to always say Kevin Huber MVP. I'm going to go Clark Harris MVP. I mean, I've never missed a long snapper more than today.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes to show, honestly, a lot of people kind of discount their long snapper. Like, oh, it doesn't matter. We can just go get another one, or anybody can long snap. Why can't just our regular center be the long snapper? And I'm like, it doesn't work like that, man.
Oh.
That's why they call it special teams.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to do something particularly well in order to do that.
Yeah.
You got your long snapper, you don't just throw anybody out there to hold either. You don't throw anybody out there to kick. You choose your gunner wisely, you choose your punter wisely, etc. So yeah, that was a big gut punch.
Yeah. And I was getting texted from my daughter, was like, WTF, but she's not, realizing. I said, it's our long snapper. The snaps are high. So everything's like a half a second off. But if you think about a golf swing, if you're a half a second off, you're slicing the ball, you're hooking the ball. And that's where McPherson just shanks that one field goal attempt. The snap was super high. Huber did everything he could, but
not only was it high, the laces were in. He didn't have time to spin the ball.
He barely had time. Yeah. It's
whoever the analyst was like, I have never ever met a kicker that said, yeah, give me the laces, I like the laces better.
Yeah, right.
That's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works.
But it was so high, he didn't have time to spin it.
He did everything he could. And like I said, it's a timing thing, because McPherson starts his, march up to the ball, and to have everything a half second off, if he has to wait, it just screws it all up. And like I said, I've never, ever missed Clark Harris more. This was a game we should have won. This was a game, and there was a lot of really, I'm going to throw this out there. There's some poor decisions by Burrow today. I mean, he took some sacks that we cannot afford to take. There were 2 different times where he was sacked, especially the last possession, where he ends up fumbling the ball, and then Perrine tries to advance it. But we can't take a sack. We were already in Money Mac range.
Right.
McPherson were there.
And there's a chance, and that Wilcox was just chomping at the bit to get out there one more time.
Yeah.
Like a third time. And I don't know if it would have gone different or not, but we were in McPherson's range. So you can't afford to do it there, man. And just turn around and chuck it straight down the middle of the field, but low, so nobody can pick it off. And then bring them out and let them try it one more time.
Yeah, I don't. Do we want to rehash the first half stats? Do we want to rehash the?
Well, no, but I mean, I'll make just a general comment.
Okay.
The reason that Burrow looked mostly better in the second half and kind of led us back, not to mention our defense, but and led us back into the game and gave us a chance to win. That was him making up for him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because Burrow was atrocious in the first half. He had no business throwing the first interception. The second one was, I mean, the fumble and the second interception, it was just kind of, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Those kind of plays happen. But Yeah, but not only that though, his touch was off, man. He was Daltoning it. He was tossing the ball kind of out of bounds, you know what I mean? And not even really giving his receiver a chance to catch the ball.
There were of the 5 turnovers, and I reviewed all 5 of them. There's 3 interceptions that are 100% on him, where he was forcing the ball just into the wrong place. I don't blame him for the fumble because that was a pass protection breakdown. And I don't blame him for the TJ Watt. You know, there's a play where Pratt jumps up and hits it. And I'm like, yeah, if you're TJ Watt, you catch that. We just end up knocking it down. I'm like, that would have ended the game. He could have caught it and run it in the end zone. But we just, that Watt play was just, you know, his brother did the same thing to us in Houston in the playoffs.
He did.
Dalton changed the whole game right before half. He intercepts Dalton on that kind of play and runs it in. So it's just I blame Burrow on 3 of those. And then, like I said, situationally, there were times where, and this is where I questioned the play calling. We just needed to run the ball. Don't risk losing. Let's just take 2. Like when we had a chance late in overtime. Just run it. Let's knock 3 more yards off. Let's get McPherson to a 52-yarder instead of, but we drop back, we lose 15 yards, and then we end up punting, and that leads to Boswell having a chance.
Right.
So just the whole game was so frustrating. I would like to say that in the first quarter, our line looked like a line that had not played together at all. And I think in the second quarter, they started pass blocking a little better. They were still struggling with Hayward and with Watt, but they started looking a little better. I hated the play calling because we handed the ball to Mixon, he got 5 yards. We handed the ball to Mixon again, he got 5 yards. Why were we coming out with all this passing and stuff? Why didn't we just start pounding the ball from the beginning and Burrow doesn't throw the pick 6?
Right.
So I didn't like the play calling in the beginning, and I certainly didn't like the way our line looked. And like I said, it got better, and this line will get better. But Collins didn't have a first quarter. Volson was getting. You can't ask Volson to guard Hayward.
No, and he got manhandled.
Oh, the whole time. But ironically, the fumble when Burrow fumbled and we ended up, we couldn't advance it. That was the late one in overtime. Hayward and Watt weren't even in the game.
Yeah.
And that happened. So I was like, how did we break down when the 2 guys that have been terrorizing us the whole game? And Williams just missed him off the edge. He was engaged, and this guy came around clean. And I was just like, no Watt, no Hayward. I was feeling pretty good going into that drive because of that.
Yeah. So, I almost just now said that the left side of the line was particularly bad, but Lael Collins, boy, he missed some serious blocks. Right. I mean, he let some guys run right by him. Yeah. And so I think it was the whole unit was responsible.
Yeah, no, they look, you just don't immediately go boom, hey, guess what, we're cohesive. They have to have time. And I think other than the Rams scrimmages, I don't think this team, they actually got any quality reps, and they were never on the field. So I know that if we roll Collins out there and we roll Cap out there, we roll Karros out there, and somebody gets hurt, everybody's yelling, why were they playing in the preseason? But you've got to put them in for a series or 2, I think, every game, especially when there was this many new pieces, just so they get some chemistry before the season starts, because it was clear they were not a cohesive unit. And you saw that in the first half. So, right. But
I mean, and the only thing with Volson is, I mean, what's your alternative, Carmen?
Yeah,
I don't know that it's going to be any better.
No.
So you just got to hope he matures in a hurry.
Yeah, well, and next week, let's bring him some help. Hayden Hurst kind of disappeared in the second half. He disappeared in the second quarter and the third quarter, but he was standing in the block.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so that's why all of a sudden
I was thinking the same thing, and they needed him to stay back by the line and pick up somebody.
I have to step up 1 second because all of a sudden some clouds rolled in. I had enough light coming in from the window. All of a sudden the clouds rolled in and it got super dark.
I noticed I'm looking straight at the camera, but just below the camera, I was like, boy, it just got really dark.
We've had the weirdest weather because of this hurricane off the West Coast. And so we've had thunderstorms. I was at the Hollywood Bowl last night for Duran Duran. It only drizzled on us at certain points. Friday night, it poured on them the whole night. I know somebody was there. It's just been really funky weather here, getting down to 89 degrees at night. I mean, it's just been, and humid. So it's been crazy. I know East Coast people are going to tell me, yeah, get used to that. But it's just been weird. So,
that's strange on the West Coast. So
it is for us. That's strange. So that's why it got all dark. It's just, this was such a frustrating game to watch. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, if this is like this all year, I mean, I'm gonna hate so much. And today was my birthday. All I wanted, I forgot to mention that last Friday on the preview on Thursday, but all I ever want every year is a win on my birthday. And no. The Bengals didn't get the message that it was my birthday and that they had to win this game.
Right.
But I know I
should have sent an email.
Yeah. Well, but
maybe now you should send a strongly worded letter.
Oh yeah, no, it's that's the angry fan. Those are the people that tweet players when they don't make a play and it costs them money. And it's just like, shut up. You don't think the guy he's not worried about your bet. He's worried for your birthday, so I don't, you get angry and you want things to go a certain way, but that's really the low point when you start, harassing professional athletes on social media. So I'll never go there, but it's just, today was just frustrating. Today was back to the old, like, oh my gosh, how are you guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. So multiple chances. When Boswell doinked it off the upright, I really felt, I said, oh my gosh, you're going to get the ball at the 45 because it was a 55 yarder, it's just, we had every opportunity to win this game, which is why it was snatch, defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah. When he hit that upright, I was like, oh my God, I think we're going to win the game. We're going to go back down. Wilcox going to get it right this time. And no problem. We got it.
Right. No, Wilcox never got that chance because of the sack and fumble. So just really, really missed opportunity. I don't want to paint doom and gloom, because last year I think the Minnesota overtime win kind of springboarded us into, I know we lost against Green Bay, but the whole way this team played along the way, I think it springboarded us. Oh, the other comment I wanted to make was the taunting. There were countless plays where I thought they could have called helmet to helmet on the Steelers, and there's no call. And then Chase gets called on, like, I don't care what he said. It's like, let these guys play that taunting penalty. It's like, really? I mean, really?
Yeah.
I want to, before I forget, I want to ask you, did you agree with going for it on 4th down, or should we have tried McPherson on the 50-yard field goal? That was before we knew we had any type of issues. McPherson's already hit a 59-yarder. I mean, and we go for it on 4th down and don't get it. And I thought when we were down in the red zone again and we had to go for it at the 2, we could have tied the game then and gone for the win on the chase. So I didn't actually agree with going for it on that 4th down. What were your feelings on that play?
Yeah, I was a little surprised by it. But I don't know, maybe they thought that from that distance, maybe they had just found out that Harris was out.
No, Harris was out before the game started.
Oh, he was? He didn't play the whole.
That's what they said on that he was inactive before the game.
Oh,
so
he wasn't. He wasn't on the inactive list.
Okay, so maybe he got hurt. I thought we would try a field goal there, because then you get it to a 3-point game. Then when we're back in the red zone and we don't score, also not challenging the play. Gene Steratore said by rule, his foot's on the line, he has the ball, it's a touchdown. Yep. The ball doesn't have to cross if his foot's on the line. Technically, the ball's in the end zone because it's in his hands.
He's in the end zone.
So I was listening to Zach's press conference afterwards, and he basically said that's their worst visual point on the field because they have to stay in the coach's area. So seeing that goal line and whether or not they could challenge, but I sure would have liked somebody from upstairs to have said, hey, instead we rushed to the line to run a play to kind of catch them off guard. We didn't, and we end up not scoring. So there were, like I said, play calling affected us. Burrow's first half affected us. And obviously blown special teams today, missing Clark Harris. So it was one of those games to lose in overtime to the Steelers, and then to lose in overtime to the Steelers is painful as it gets.
At the end of the day, this is obviously it's a poor way to start the season. But this team went 10-7 last year before they made their playoff run. So I caution everybody to start for. I already got a message from one guy saying, is this the real Bengals? And last year was a fluke. And I was like, dude, and that was before halftime.
Oh, no.
Before halftime.
And I saw
was like, do you think this is the real Burrow?
Yeah, no. And the other thing was, I already saw stuff about fire Zach, and it was like, really? I mean, I will say, I thought Zach Taylor in the first half was outcoached by Mike Tomlin.
For sure.
I thought the game plan for the Steelers was better. I thought they came in more prepared to play. That's obviously on Zach. So I will say that, but I'm not in the fire Zach Taylor. I mean, that was, and I disagree. Like I said, I understand they did, timeouts are valuable. It's a second half of the game. He doesn't want to waste the challenge. But it sure would have been nice to have that touchdown on that, when Gene Stewart got on the screen, and I was like, oh man, really? I had nothing else. I wanted to, get some more looks at it, before we rush up to the line. We could have seen a couple replays, on the TV feed, which means the coaches see that. And then you could have said, oh, the toe's on the line, or somebody knew the rule. Like I said, there were so many things that, if one of the things goes right, we win the game.
Right. Despite
the 5-0. So I don't believe in moral victories, but the only positive thing you could say is you typically don't win games when you go 0-5 in the turnover battle.
Right.
When you get outscored 5-0 in the turnover battle, 99.9999% of those games you're not going to win. We almost were that 0.001 today, but
well, and the first half stats are horrible. Like, don't even look at them. It's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Maybe wait till Halloween. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the in the second half, I mean, we blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
And if you look at the stats now, like all the team stats, we led every single category. I mean, every single one. And a lot of them we led by a long shot. I mean, by a long shot. So, it was a good comeback, and I'm glad that the stat lines ended up that way, and that we had a chance to win, and we didn't just kind of lay down our guns and go home. You know what I mean? I don't know, but yeah, it is what it is, right?
It is. The last thing I'm going to harp on is that BS pass interference call that gave them the first down. That we should have only been down 13. Steelers should only had 13, not 17. That pass interference call, if anything, it was OPI. Pickens had a handful of jersey.
Yes, he did.
There's no way that was defensive pass interference, and they threw the flag. And it's like, yeah, you give them 4 shots now from the 1 yard line. It's like that was a third down play. It was 4th down. They're going to kick the ball.
Right.
So I thought that was bad, and I want to give kudos to our defense. Our defense kept us in this game. I mean, to be outscored.
I mean, in the second half, they were unreal.
So, but in the first half, they mitigated it to, if you had said that we were going to turn the ball over 4 times, we were going to give up 3 or 4 sacks in the first half, and they were devastating sacks in times of when they took us out of field goal range. And you would have said we would only be down 11. It would be 17-6.
Yeah.
Should have been 13-6, because like I said, that pass interference was a BS call. But if you had told me that, I would have been, oh, we're still in this game. You know, took the field goal going into the locker room, and then obviously I wanted us to score on our opening possession. We didn't, but we were still right there in the game. So our defense was what kept us in the game today. There's no
Yeah, and it was inconsistent though. You know
yes.
what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
I think almost to a man. A guy would have, a couple really good plays and then maybe a pair of really bad plays. Not like anybody, got horribly torn apart or anything like that. But if you were watching, you could see when a guy was out of position, or whatever. And I hate to say it, I don't like playing starters in the preseason, but sometimes you gotta at least give them a little bit of time.
just a series or two.
A
They don't have to
series or
play a
two.
whole quarter. Go out and play a series. Go down the field, get a field goal, and then all the starters sit down. Something
Yep.
positive. Just with our offensive line, maybe have done that. The only thing our defense did not do, they kept us in this game, and they gave us a chance to win, and we could have won. We've chronicled ad nauseum how many opportunities we had to win, but they didn't provide us with a turnover.
We
Not
needed
one.
that turnover.
We needed a turnover. We needed a big sack. We did not get them. We did. We got close. We almost got a safety on Trubisky. We got close, but they did not. Our defense did not produce that big play or the turnover. They made a lot of plays, and hats off to them. But it was good, but it wasn't great. The Steeler defense did what they needed to do, which was get the turnovers and get the sacks.
They just came out and said, listen, we are going to basically bull rush them on every down somehow. Not necessarily a blitz every time, but one guy creeping up to the line and making it 5 instead of 4, those kind of things. And that's, that it was a great scheme. And then when they did blitz,
they got there.
It's Burrow had no shot.
They got home.
Yeah,
they got home. Well, our guys did not. So, in the end, they made the couple more plays that we didn't make, and it's like I said, it's a tough loss. I'm glad we came back, because I think if this is, like the Cleveland loss last year or something, it's one of those things that, is a funk. But this one, they carried some momentum into next week. We've got another tough defense in Dallas next week.
Yeah,
that's not a pushover defense, and the Dallas may be coming off a loss because they're playing Brady and Tampa tonight.
Well, you better believe that Pollock's going to be all over that offensive line this week in practice.
Right.
Just run them through drill after drill after drill, just to make sure that they're all cohesive, make sure that everybody knows exactly who they're supposed to block, when they're supposed to block them, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I didn't remind everybody, but if you don't, please subscribe to the channel. It's all we ask.
Hit that bell.
Hit that bell. Get the notifications. And the big thing also, hit the likes for us. That's what works on the AI and gets us as video suggestions. So hit the likes, hit that thumbs up, subscribe. It's all we ask on this channel.
I wish this was a more fun. We're one extra point away from us blowing the horn, and
we got the victory horn. I got there's there it is. There's the quacker, the horns in the cup. I always get turned around, but it's back
there.
Got
it.
I didn't get to touch it. So hopefully we blow it next week.
Yeah.
We'll be back with the preview on Thursday.
Right.
Cap after the Cowboy game next week, and hopefully we're at sitting at 1-1 and get the roll going. I think we have the Jets coming up. I don't have the schedule in front of me. You guys can put it in the comments, and feel free to comment below if there's anything we missed or disagree with something. Please feel free. Talk.
Throw us a comment.
Throw us a comment. Let us know. So I know this is a tough one. So what do you? I don't know. This thing is this channel it started. It's very therapeutic for me because before we started filming, we were just like, yeah, we're like Eeyore and Winnie the Pooh,
Right.
It's like I feel more upbeat. I feel better after. So there is a therapeutic.
After getting some of it out of your system, I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's therapeutic for me. So hopefully it's therapeutic for the viewers as well to kind of say, okay, we're moving forward. I always like to say I don't like to trip over stuff we've passed. So next week, this is in the rearview mirror, and we're forward thinking about winning next week's game and getting to 1-1 and going from there.
We're on to Dallas.
We're on to Dallas. We are on to Dallas. Thank you very much. So, but all right, Sam. You want anything to plug or
no?
Okay, we're all good. All right. So well, with that, please join us Thursday on our next preview. And with that, I'm going to say, hoot, everybody.
Hoot, hey.
Take care.